The story begins with a kid waking up. A very 2000s kid. We see a corn poster, one from the movie Alien, pictures of the X-Men, and one of Spider-Man. He heads down the stairs, rocking a Punisher t-shirt, and he notices how quiet the house is. No breakfast, and the sink was left running. He calls out for his mom to make him breakfast because he's late for school, but the house is quiet. He looks around the kitchen and he sees a t-shirt and pants lying on the ground. He makes one last call to his mom before leaving a note on the fridge. Heading outside, there's no one there. The neighborhood is an absolute ghost town, with only a dog collar on the ground. The kid is confused but moves along. As he enters the next block, he sees cars and people moving around. Finally, examples of life. He looks away and walks the rest of his route to school. But what he doesn't notice are the cars crashing into buildings and the people that were once living their lives dissolving into smoke. Written by Brian Michael Bendis and drawn by David Finch, Ultimate X-Men issue 41 exemplifies why the Ultimate line of Marvel Comics worked. The Ultimate line of books was created in the year 2000 by the at the time Vice President of Marvel Comics, Bill Jemas, and Editor-in-Chief, Joe Quesada. The goal was to create a fresh start for newer fans without ditching decades of Marvel continuity. Characters were made younger, and this version of the Marvel Universe reflected the contemporary 21st century. Unless you're Spider-Man and maybe the Marvel Zombies, the Ultimate Universe is seen in hindsight as edgy and creatively bankrupt. Either creators didn't stray enough for the main continuity, or they strayed too hard into mature subjects that were executed in problematic ways. Even Ultimate Spider-Man, which is the best received product from the Ultimate Universe, has fallen under critical analysis. The Ultimate Universe had cannibalism, incest, slurs, Greg Land, and Greg Land. Despite that, there were good moments in the Ultimate Universe that had nothing to do with Spider-Man, and one of them was Ultimate X-Men issue 41. Speaking of, the kid finally gets to school and he meets up with his girlfriend. She asks him why didn't he call last night, but he responded with the excuse that he cleans his phone past 10 PM. She teases him and he gets annoyed, but before they can finish talking, she looks in horror at what's happening behind her boyfriend. The students' mouths and eyes erupt into smoke as if they exploded from the inside. The kid notices, and when he looks back at his girlfriend, she begins to melt while holding onto him, her last words being, "It's you." Every student around him begins to melt until only their clothes remain, and all he can do is look in horror. It's later and we see a cave. A man walks in and lights a match in the dank cave. It's revealed as Wolverine, and he lights a small fire to set camp in the cave. A voice screams at Wolverine to get out of there, and that's revealed to be the kid from earlier. Wolverine is sitting in the makeshift campsite and takes a beer from the 6-pack he brought. The kid warns him that he'll die if he is near him, but Wolverine assures him that he won't. The kid comes out and Wolverine offers him a beer. The kid recognizes Wolverine as an X-Men. In this universe, they're kind of celebrities and well known. Wolverine tells him that his name is Logan, and his healing factor prevents him from getting hurt. Logan tells the kid that he found them because of Cerebro, which is Professor X's mutant finder machine. The kid is a mutant, and he's the reason why all those people, including his parents and his girlfriend, died. He starts to break down into tears. Logan barely looks at him, not in annoyance, but in sorrow. The kid then asks Logan how many people did he end up killing. Logan asks if he's sure that he wants to know that, and the kid is indecisive, but ultimately chooses yes. Logan reveals that he killed 265 people, according to the news, but there could be more. Logan then explains that the night before the incident is when he hit puberty, and that's usually when mutants develop their powers. The kid's mutation is that he radiates a series of toxins and acid-like poisons, meaning that he vaporizes anyone that's around him. The kid breaks down again, and Logan apologizes for drinking. The kid says that he can't live like this, and Logan agrees. The kid stares at Logan with tears down his face and takes the beer that Logan offers him. While opening the beer, he says that he should have done more with his life and enjoyed things more. But Logan just glares at him in response. The kid goes on to say that he was supposed to start looking for colleges. He wanted to go to the national stock car race, and he wanted to drive cross country the following summer. He even laments that he and his girlfriend never got the chance to be intimate, and that makes him start to wail and wish that he never was born. Logan assures him that nobody knows that he's the one who killed those people. It will be covered up as a chemical leak. The kid tells Logan to tell everyone that he did it, that he's the biggest loser of all time. But Logan stops him and explains that if the government finds out that a mutant mass murdered people, even by mistake, it will be used as an excuse to kill them all. The big picture is that no one should know the truth of it. Understanding what Logan is getting at, he just stares at Logan, and Logan just looks away. The kid then asks Logan if he had one chromosome that moved to the left, he would have been an X-Men? Logan says, maybe, before telling him to finish his beer. The kid looks at the ground. The shadows start to envelop him. His last words to Logan are, "Just do it." The comic ends with the panel zooming in on the entrance of the cave, and Logan appearing outside. It's now daytime. Ultimate X-Men issue 41 is a great book. There's a running joke that there's an endless amount of X-Men in the main Marvel universe, to the point where creators created events where the number of mutants fluctuated for a while, so there wouldn't be. There are also X-Men with weird abilities where they could only live in the X-Mansion. So with the Ultimate Universe being merciless and morally grey with a hint of asshole, the idea of a mutant not getting that X-Mansion ending was interesting. It helps that the story is told straight and the main kid, who never gets named, isn't made the butt of a joke. The comedy in this book comes from the real-life desperation and the thoughts one would have if one were going to die. So it's not haha funny, it's just respectfully uncomfortable. Even Wolverine doesn't make jokes, but he doesn't lie to the kid either, nor is he cruel. There are panels where you just see him sad and accepting the things that he has to do. Not to save people from dying, but to save his race from being wiped out because the government saw one of them do something wrong by mistake, which is something that hits close to home in more ways than one. The script is also really tight and allows the art to tell the story with dialogue being used when necessary. The reusing of panels could feel cheap, but here is meant to sell horror, confusion, grief, and regret. The horror aspect is helped by the art as well. We see the aftermath of people getting melted, and we get to see how they eventually become nothing but close. Bendis is known for creating quippy dialogue and prolonging things. This can be seen in the event comics he wrote, and especially during his time in Ultimate Spider-Man. But Bendis was able to tell a one-and-done story, which allowed the artist to play with the art. Wide shots, close-up shots, and moments of horror and grief are balanced well. The death of a teenager is tragic already, but in the world and politics of the Ultimate Universe, this is a full-blown tragedy. This is definitely my favorite thing Bendis has written, and that's saying a lot because I thought his stint on Ultimate X-Men was just okay for the most part. This book can make you feel angry, sad, gross, and exhausted, but all in a way that will stick with you. Also, with the amount of Marvel merch that the MC wears, you can see it as a reader stand-in, but that opens up to people saying, wow, this is how it will be if the Marvel Universe was realistic. And that makes me think of Marvel Ruins, and I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Maybe next time though. I just wish it was a one-and-done story, but it was brought up twice afterwards, both in a way for Wolverine to get his way over Nick Fury. Like hey, you remember this? And Fury's like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? No. We don't talk about that. I personally don't like that it's used as a catch-all because it comes off as inappropriately humorous and quippy, especially when the reference is the tragic death of a teenager. But I digress. Death, grief, and the quote-unquote greater good is the tragedy of Ultimate X-Men issue 41. Thanks for watching. Comic books are something that I love to talk about, and I realized that I did it once and not again. How vintage comics doesn't count. Also, after releasing the furry video, I got a boost in subs, so I hope that you enjoyed this video and are here to stay. If you like this video, make sure to slap that like button. We're bringing it back. And if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next video. If you want me to cover your favorite comic or a comic you don't like, comment below. I'm always looking for ideas for future videos. Lastly, I'll thank my patrons, LeoCrit and RetroRoy for supporting the channel, and for $1 a month, your name will show up right here. If we get to 5 patrons, I will subject myself to 50 Shades of Grey, the novel, to you all, either as a review or a reading of a spicy scene. With all of that in mind, love you guys and shamalamoomoo.